Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing today? I just scheduled my Cynthia G video. How was your how was your 2022 to the spiritual girls out here? How was it, sis? Even if you're not spiritual, if you just said a prayer, the veil was thin yesterday. Very, very thin. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I'm not missing nothing. Lip season 2. It was. Yesterday was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Have you guys ever contacted your ancestors? I had a weird experience yesterday. It's 68 degrees today in Boston. Crazy. I did manifest a lot of things. You didn't? Never? Oh my gosh. Okay, so like people don't understand what it is, but it's just like when you go to a gravesite and you bring flowers, right? An ancestor could be a family member that you lost last year or the year before that. But people who don't understand, they think it's about contacting somebody you've never met. It could be an ancestor that you've met, by the way, just for those that didn't know that. But you could go farther throughout your bloodline and things like that. Like if you wanted to contact a grandmother or something, people go to the gravesite and do it all the time. They'll go to the gravesite, pour liquor on the gravesite, they'll bring flowers, they'll sit there and talk to them. That's how you contact your ancestors, for those that don't know. That for those that feel like being at a gravesite versus being in your home makes a big difference. But basically you create a holy space within your home. It can be an altar. And yesterday I did that. I put water on my altar. Some people bring alcohol, just like you would a gravesite, okay? And I hate that I have to explain things in this way, but I need to explain it to you in this way, because people love to make it seem like when you do it in your home, it's different, and it's not. It's literally the same thing. So I put flowers on my altar, fresh flowers. I lit a white candle and lit an incense, and that was it. I just welcomed them into my space and I spoke to them for a while, and my candle started to flicker really, really fast, and I was like, oh my God, they really in here. And if you look up the symbolisms of what your flame represents, it has different meanings to it. And so when my light started to flicker like a light switch, like you could literally see in my room how the candle and the light reflecting off the wall, because I had the lights off, it was just flickering back and forth. Now listen, my ancestors know like not to come in my space and disturb my peace in a way where it's paranoia, because I'll freak out. I'm the type of person where I'm like, wait a minute now, don't be making no loud noises. You know, if you're gonna come in this space, you know, come in here easy, because I'll start to freak out. And so they just flickered the light. That was it. So yeah, it was really beautiful yesterday. Thank you. It's so slow. Or no, I don't want to say it's so slow. I want to say, I think it's more, I think my last 50 pounds, this is what I think. This is my prediction. I think my last 50 pounds that I want to lose, because I've already lost 155. I want to lose another 50 pounds. I want to lose another 50 pounds, and I feel like the last 50 is going to be very spiritual. And yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm not a tea sipper drinker. I think tea is nasty. Well, I thought I did. And I'm like, let me try tea again. Like, let me just try it, right? Because, you know, over time, when you take on a healthy journey, a weight loss journey, your taste buds change. So I'm like, okay, let me just test out some tea. Like, I haven't really tested tea like that, because I always thought it was nasty, even when I was a kid. So yesterday, I got peppermint tea and I tried it, and I'm like, oh, this is not bad. No sweetener, no nothing, just drunk it straight. And I'm like, oh, I can actually do this. Like, this is not bad. And I'm like, dang, my taste buds are changing. Because I remember when I used to try to drink tea when I was younger, even like 2 years ago, it was disgusting. It was nasty. And here I am drinking tea. And this is why you should never say never, because you may end up doing it later. Peppermint tea is not that bad. Now, I'm interested in trying some other teas. Are there any other teas that are like minty? Because I feel like the minty flavor, it's like, it gives you like this fresh flavor where it's like, it's not overpowering when it comes to other teas that tend to be like a little more stronger. So, but I like it, and I can drink it while I fast. Peppermint tea is supposed to help with appetite suppressant. It's supposed to help with your digestive health and everything like that. I'm gonna have to try it. I'm actually excited. Things I have happened. Wait, my sister's spiritually gifted, so things have happened, so I mind my business. Man, it's like once you go to that side and once you see certain things, you cannot come back. I'm gonna say that. And yesterday, like, I asked my ancestors, I said, I want to know the truth. And whenever you set an intention like that, you're about to see some things that you thought you would never see before. So we're going to see. We're going to see. And now that I don't know what, and then this is another thing, like yesterday, I don't know what made me look into what the flame means. I've gotten into spiritual candle work, but like I didn't know how deep it runs. Like, you guys, I got into candle work through candle meditation because I couldn't meditate just by sitting down in silence. Like, I'm like a kid. I'm going to bounce off the wall. Like, my mind, I could be sitting still, but my mind is going to bounce off the walls like a child with sugar, and I'm not going to be able to focus. So I was like, are there any other meditation forms out here? And there was. It introduced me to a whole nother culture. And so that's how I got into spiritual candle work. But then I didn't even know candle flames have hidden meanings. So yeah, yesterday was amazing. I never thought that my spiritual journey would get to this. It's crazy. Hello. Yeah, you could there's so many different meditation forms. Like, yeah, you could do the candle glazing. I always recommend candle glazing for those that are creative, for those that are visual people, the daydreamers. I recommend candle glazing meditation for you because it puts your mind to focus on something. Like, it allows your mind to focus on something, but then also you can manifest when you do that. So I think it's just a great way to do that. When is the Cynthia G video? Is it on YouTube? No. It's going to be later today at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's not on right now. I just scheduled it though. I'm sorry. I just scheduled it. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, this weight conversation. I use birthday candles. I have some right here. Where's my other one? I use birthday candles. I made my first oil yesterday though. And yesterday under the 2022 portal, I for the first time used drawing money oil, and I covered it with my candle and I burned it. But so I didn't hold it. That was my first time ever doing it that way. Like, the more intentional you are, the better. And this time, one of my spiritual tier mentees, she said, I just realized something last night. Speaking over your work is more powerful, just like prayer is more powerful than writing it down. I'm gonna just say that. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Somebody said I get high when I meditate. I bet that's a good way to meditate though. I like to go out into nature. My favorite, I feel like my two favorite is candle glazing. That's definitely number one. Number two is going out in nature and sitting by water. Those are my two favorite ways to meditate. Well, I would say, okay, my top three, I don't know, hold on. My top three, I would say candle work with music, sitting at the park by water without music would be number two. And music would be number three, like zoning out to music. You can meditate with music all the time, just listening to music. Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about, I don't know, what is going on with this conversation about women and weight? Can someone please explain that to me? Every time I log on to this app, we're talking about, and it's not even just women in weight. It's black women in weight. It's black women in weight. And it's men talking about it. It's men. I can understand like women talking about it because it's our bodies, right? So we talking about weight and wanting to reach certain goals and things like that. It makes sense. But like, you have men out here who are doing no research, speaking on another woman's body that has nothing to do with them. Their body is not that woman's body is not their responsibility. Like, it's weird. And then the reason why I feel like research is important is because you don't know what a person has gone through in order for them to be at that size. And that's what I have an issue with society now. It's like, you take a look at a person, right? And you think you know what's going on with them, and you have no idea. You have no idea. Chad Boswick. Did we not learn anything from that situation? I'm like, did we not learn anything from how people were saying, oh, he must be on drugs, he must be doing this, or da-da-da, and he was sick the whole time? You know, the thing that kills me is like, you have people that are so shallow, like they don't see how obesity is a sickness. It's an illness. It has a lot to do with mental illness. It has a lot to do with mental illness, emotional imbalance. Like, it's a sickness just like anything else. But like, they don't want to look at it like that. Obesity runs in my family. Food addiction is real. Obesity runs in my family because of mental health issues. Mental health issues, lack of self-care, lack of understanding nutrition. That's another one. You know, black people also have this mindset that we don't want to change. We're just going to continue to do what we've always done. So you have black people in my family that eat the same way because that's all they know. That's how they were taught. Hold on, what's Lib? I don't think, have I ever watched, what's Lib the show? Or are you abbreviating it? Who was obsessed with the woman's weight? He was trying to gauge the women who were overweight. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's on Netflix. No, I didn't watch the second one. Should I watch it? I know what show you're talking about. Can you please put it in the comment section? Love is Blind. No, I haven't watched the second one. I haven't watched the second one. I want y'all to understand that men are very shallow. Like, y'all need to understand that now. But you should want to take care of yourself, though. Thank you. Y'all are so sweet. You should want to take care of yourself. You should. When I was 17 years old, I went from being such a healthy kid. I could eat whatever I wanted, not gain weight. I was always in shape, fit, never had an issue. I got a knee injury. I took steroids. I got on these like big pharma medications, and this is why I have not been vaccinated. And I had no control over my body at that point. Like, I had no control over my body. I went years taking that for granted. And so when I started my healthy weight loss journey, basically it was me trying to take control over my body, like getting control back over my body. And it started with the mind. And it was like the hardest thing that I ever had to go through, because it was like, dang, like I never had to use this strength up here to get out of that. And that's basically what I had to do. It was so mental. Like, people don't understand how mental it is for you to even lose weight. It's all, to me, I feel like it's 95% mental. The rest is your diet, the rest is exercise. And that's why, like, when I was going to see my trainer, my goal was not to lose weight. My goal is to lose weight now, but my goal when I was with my trainer was not to lose weight. I wanted him to push me so hard to where it would get me back to where I needed to be up here. People don't understand that. But I had people on the internet judging me about how I wasn't losing weight fast enough. And it really wasn't about that. It really was not about that. I needed to get my mind right. I had just moved. I moved away from my family. I just got out of a narc situation, and I'm realizing all of these things about my childhood, and it was just a lot. And I'm like, I'm literally hanging on by a thread. Like, those 3 months, you saw me hanging on by a thread, and you saw me fighting for my life. It was not about weight, though. So it's weird. It's weird whenever I get on here and people want to make comments about weight all the time, and it's from a shallow standpoint. The 3 months that you saw me in the gym, you saw me fight for my life. You saw me fight for a new life, not the old life, because I could have went back to the old life. The old life, I could have just continued to do what I wanted to do. No, I was fighting for a new chapter. I was fighting for a new life. That was what I was doing in the gym. It had nothing to do with weight. That's why I don't like, this is why I don't like social media, though. Social media think they know your whole life, don't know a damn thing. And that's the part that sucks about coming on here sometimes. Like, damn. Someone made that video about Monique. She was raped by her own brother. Not only that, she was married in her first marriage. She was married in her first marriage. So that cancels out that no man wants you at a bigger size. And it also highlights how you can secretly be hanging on by a freaking thread, fighting things that no one knows about, right? And instead of trying to help, try to extend a hand, right? They just want to talk about you and bash you and make it so shallow when it's so much deeper than that. Are there people among us that are just lazy? Of course. But I don't think it's the majority, you guys. I don't think it's the majority, especially in the black community. Mental illness runs rampant within the black community. And if you living in poverty, a lot of people feel like food is their only luxury. Like, are we going to talk about that? Food is their only luxury. I mean, you don't have money to do this. You don't have money to do that. You working, you taking care of kids. You're basically in survival mode. The only comfort, the only luxury that you do have is to eat. Are we gonna talk about that? And I'm tired of people who feel like they know it all, they got it all figured out. Like, you don't. You don't even think about others when you have these conversations. You think about your perspective, your experience, and you don't think outside of that box, which sucks. It sucks to only think so small. I watched the 600-pound life, and I'm like, a lot of those people, if you notice, a lot of those people that are in that position, no matter if they're white or black, they're in the poverty line that's all they can afford is to eat. Like, can we address that? Of course. And this is why when you see affluent people, right, and they're so small, they're so slim, right? Well, I mean, I think I would be slim too if I had a lot of money like that, because I feel like, well, shoot, I have the luxury to be able to do this, and this. I don't just have to sit in the house all day and eat and be happy. I can travel. I can go do this. I could go do that, and I can be active in the way that I want to. I can take off work when I want to. I'll never forget when I worked my 9-to-5 job and I was working call center, and then people had me stressed the hell out. Just to make it through my shift, I would snack all day. Like, that's how I would deal with how stressful the environment was. The environment was so stressful, and I hated my life during that time. I hated my life during that time because it was just every day you would get cussed out. Every day somebody's gonna cuss you out. It's not always somebody's just eating themselves to death just to eat themselves to death just because they don't have any self-discipline or self-control. And if they don't have the self-discipline or the self-control, it's because they're going through something traumatic. That's what I need people to understand. And people who walk around with a fast metabolism and they can eat McDonald's every day, yes, all you do at call centers is eat. That's how you cope. Facts. I had to get out of that environment, but I'll never forget what that environment was like. And then on bring food to work day, like, that was the highlight. Like, that was a good day. Man, if you don't know nothing about that life, I don't expect. And then if you don't have a slow metabolism, I really don't expect you to understand. I don't. But I understand people with a fast metabolism that want to gain weight. I do. I'm like, dang, growing up in a culture where they expect, it's a standard for you to be thick or slim thick now, and you're slim. Yes. Potluck days. Man, trauma runs so deep. It does. It does. And I'm going to use my platform to focus on trauma, because people going to lose the weight. Like, whenever I mentor people, I said, listen, you want to start this weight loss journey? I'm going to tell you now, if you're in a high stressful environment, you're not going to lose weight. Straight up. First day. They're like, what? You're not. You're in survival mode. How can you lose weight when you're in survival mode? Because the mental space that you're using for your survival mode environment, you need that to lose weight. So it's like it's an overload. It's an overload. You're focusing on surviving your environment. There is no way you can try to go up against weight loss. You need to pick. You got to pick a struggle. It can't be both. I tell girls that day one, and they don't understand how deep it is. How do I know this? I lived it. Another thing, men love to talk about women's weight. Men love to talk about how a woman can't lose weight after children. Her high stress levels. Are you doing your part to help her? DeVal here on Instagram, the way he helps his wife after each baby, the reason why her body looks the way that it does, right, is because he actually takes care of her. He nurtures her back to where she was prior. Men don't want to do that. They want to be lazy. They don't even want to acknowledge that you have postpartum depression. That's why I'm like, men want to throw up in your face about how you don't have kids at 30 and 40. I'm like, do they not understand it's a sacrifice? It's a sacrifice the day that she finds out that she's pregnant. It's a sacrifice months after, even sometimes years after. So, but they want to sit up here and talk about their weight. And this is why Nelly's penis was small. That's how I see it. Since they want to talk about their weight, our weight, talk about how their penis is small. Talk about how they belly, is over their shaft, but they want you to go down and give them head. Let's talk about that. Since they want to talk about us. Because we not the only ones walking around with bellies. We not. Especially here in the US. You want me to go down on you? Your belly is in the way. Like, what if we were to do stuff like that? And that's what I'm saying. Start being honest with these men since they want to be so honest with us. When's the last time you was able to do some push-ups, some sit-ups? When was the last time you was able to do that? They want to spend their days, their nights, their weeks, their months so concerned about what we doing. What are you doing? Y'all know exactly how it is. Or if you are with a bigger guy, you doing majority of the work. They don't want us to be honest with them, and then y'all want to sit up and lay up and fake an orgasm. But then they want to comment on your weight. Well, since we being so honest, your stroke game is weak. Since we being so honest. And a weak stroke game isn't about how fast you are going. That's not what a weak stroke game is. For those men really think, and this is what's laughable. I'm sorry, it's very laughable. They think having a good stroke game is about how fast they can ram their penis into your vagina. No. It's not. You have no rhythm. You have no tempo. You don't even know how to switch it up. It's just the same. Boring. Whack. No orgasm. Since they want to talk about us, let's have a conversation. You think watching porn, you know something. You know nothing. And it's sad because the women that you're watching are faking it for a check. I mean, come on. They're faking it for a check. They faking it to get paid. Gosh, it's just stop faking it, y'all. Let them know it ain't hitting nothing. Absolutely nothing. I chose violence because I'm tired of people doing that. Like, every time they bring up this conversation about weight, yes, I feel like black women should prioritize their health for themselves. They should want to get in shape for themselves. They should want to look good for themselves. But a man commenting on it, it's like you're overstepping boundaries. Because I'm just like, if we were to comment on a lot of the things that we see men do, like how they don't want to shave they don't even want to shave their balls. Like, do you know how annoying it is to go down there and you have their hair in your mouth? But they expect for you to give them head though. Don't cut your beard off. Please don't do that. We got with you because of your beard. Your beard is gone. You don't even look the same. You don't look the same. You don't even look like a grown man. You look like somebody I've never met before. Like, what if we really started to talk like that? I'll never forget this one man that I was dating. He shaved off his beard. And I was like, wow, he looks so different. I was like, wow, he looks so different. But I'm like, you know what? You know what? I still love him anyway. He had to shave his beard off for his job. This same man, y'all, portrayed me so bad. And I'm like, wow, like I still took you as you were after you shaved off your beard. And it didn't look the best, you know? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to still love you anyway. No, F that. Let these men know exactly how you feel since they want to talk about us so much. He looked so weird. I was like, oh my God, he looks so weird. It's like seeing a cat with hair and then seeing those weird looking cats with no hair. That's what it was. I was like, oh my God, you look so different. I was like, dang, that's crazy. Oh yes, being burnt out. I think you need to focus on self-care. Somebody said, oh my gosh, my dude just shaved his beard. Yeah, y'all, it don't hit the same. To any men that's out here, you shave your beard, it don't hit the same. I'm sorry. And I don't know about you guys, but how about the men that want to switch up their hair? How about the men that want to change up their haircut? How many women suffered when they man was like, oh, I want to grow out my hair? I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that? Because I like men with waves. I do. I like the short wave look, or just the short tapered look. You know, that long hair stuff. I'm just like, it look like you got a mop on your head. That's what it looked like for me. I can't speak for everybody. Some women like it, some women do not. But we deal with it mainly because the reason why I deal with it is because, well, shoot, I'm always changing up my look. So it's like, how can I get mad at him for changing up his look? Back to the girl that said, what do you do when you get burnt out? You need to focus more on your self-care. You need to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And taking care of yourself means go to a spa, get your nails done, get a facial, do something special for yourself every now and then. I'm about to start doing maintenance weeks. Where I choose 1 week out of the month and dedicate it to just maintenance for self-care. And it's the whole week. So I'll go get a facial, I'll go get a back massage, go get my nails done, go get my feet done, get my hair cut, stuff like that. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. If you get burnt out, it's because you're not nurturing yourself, which is important. Yeah, or men losing their hair and stuff. Like, we got to deal with that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Start being honest with these men. Start being honest with them, since they want to be so honest with us. And see, the reason why we women, we're naturally different, right? We're naturally not shallow because we'll birth children and we will love our children no matter what. You got Kodak Black upset because he didn't have a girl. I mean, he didn't have a boy. And basically saying to any future woman out here, like, if you have a girl, like, I'm gonna make you a girlfriend, but if you have a boy, I'm gonna wife you. Like, how shallow is that? So for us as women, you know, we love our kids regardless. We love them for the most part. We love them when they're gay. We love them if they're trans. We love them if they're too short. We love them if they get fat. You know, like, we love our kids because we birthed them. We brought them into this world, so we love them regardless. Men feel like they can pick and choose when they love you, and it's very shallow. So start being honest with them. I know it's not the natural thing to do. I know it's not in your nature to do that, but might as well. Yes, I'm saving this life destiny. I sure am. Yeah, men determine the gender. Exactly. And that's why men go around feeling like they can speak about our weight, speak about our hair and our weave and all of that stuff. And we women are supposed to love them no matter what. I don't know how many men walk around talking about women's weight and they not even in shape, but they expect for a woman that's in shape to want them. Make it make sense. And you know what's sad? There are women out here that would go for a man that's not in shape, but she's in shape. Because we're not shallow like that. I'm letting you guys know now, men are very shallow. And this is why I'm so hesitant to have their kids. I'm so hesitant to get married to them and be married with them for a long period of time. I'm very hesitant because they're very shallow people. They're very shallow. And this is coming from a girl that has a certain body type. And that's all men care about. You look, what you look like. What sex is, what would sex be with you? That's all they freaking care about. Men, and I don't care what race of man you're dealing with. I brought a white man on my platform, and he was very shallow about his views on women and weight. All of them have that shallowness to them. And I told you guys, Men are all shallow. That's number one. Right? And number two, all men have misogyny. Some is more extremely than others. And you need to figure out how extreme is it. Like, I'll never forget this one man that I was dating. You know, I like to date the husky ones. You know, I just like bigger men. But he had gained, like, he had gotten up to like almost 380. And I think I met him at like, I think I met him at like maybe like 280 or something like that. Now listen, majority of his weight is muscle. Like, he is a bigger guy, right? But it was getting to that point of sloppiness. But I didn't say anything because I'm like, well, shoot, he must be going through something mentally. Like, I'm thinking he's going through something mentally. Like, I'm not making it a big deal because I'm like, dang, I know what that feels like, right? Me being a nurturer. But this man will not date a woman that's going through something similar. It's insane to me. It's not wrong to like beautiful women. It's wrong to be shallow. It's wrong not to feel like it's wrong not to feel like women are people with feelings and emotions. We go through things too, and it affects our weight. Why? Because it affects our emotions. Then it leads to our hormones. Then that causes some women to gain weight. It causes some women to lose weight. Again, remember when I said this on my YouTube channel that men don't like women? They don't like us, y'all. I hope y'all know that. They deal with us for sex. And the reason why I say men don't like us is because the very thing that we are, they hate. They hate how emotional we are. They hate how sensitive we are. It's like, damn, but that makes me who I am. That makes me a nurturer. That makes me compassionate. I have to feel things. I have to sense things in order for me to be that. But the very thing that makes me those things, right, you hate. You don't like. It's too much responsibility. Like, oh, I don't want to deal with a woman. She's so emotional. She's so sensitive. Well, duh. Do you want me to be a man? Want me to be hard all the time? Want me to smack you around a little bit? Like, damn. Do you want me to be a woman or do you want me to be a man? That's why I feel like a lot of these men, they really in love with their homeboys. I told y'all that. They want their homeboys so bad. They do. That's why they talk to them so much. They hang out. They want to hang out with them all day, every day. They are in love, y'all. They do not. And then want to say, oh, I can't stand women. Da-da-da. What do you mean? Like I said, besides our vagina, the very thing that they don't like us for makes us who we are. We're emotional. We're sensitive. We're nurturers. Hello? We have to sense things. So we have to be in tune with our emotions. That's how we are nurturers. That's how we can nurture the community. That's how we nurture our children. That's how you were nurtured by your mother. But you love her so much. It's very strange, y'all. It is very strange. It's very strange. They want us to treat them like men. And you know what I find to be funny, though? This is why I say a lot of them are in love with their homeboys. I've seen gay sex. I have. And that Isaiah Rashad, is it Rashad? Isaiah or is it Isaiah Rashad? I saw the Isaiah Rashad video. The reason why I feel like they like men, they want to be dominated by them. I'm like, I would have never thought that you would want to be dominated, but okay. I mean, that's cool. Whatever floats your boat. But just live in your truth. That's all I'm going to say. Live in your truth. Live in your truth. So, some of them don't love their mothers. Yeah, because they hate how emotional she was. So, like I said, the very thing that men hate us, the very thing that men don't like us for is the very thing that they need us for. But it's the very thing that I feel they don't want to nurture. They hate the idea of nurturing a woman. They hate the idea that they have to hold space for our sensitivity. They hate the idea that they have to hold space for our emotions. They hate the idea that they have to hold space for our hormonal imbalance, which includes weight gain. They hate or it could be weight loss. Because you know how some of these men like, I like my women thick. I like them thick. Well, some women, if their hormones are imbalanced, they lose weight drastically and can't keep weight on them. They can't hold space for the very things that make us who we are. It's very strange. So yeah, I'm hesitant to get married to them. I'm very hesitant to have their kids. I am very hesitant because a lot of them seem unappreciative, arrogant, shallow, and egotistical, and just misogynistic, because it's like, it's very strange to me. My husband is extremely eliminated, and I am more effeminate, and I'm more masculine. He's extremely emotional, whereas I'm extremely logical. I don't know what to say about that. I don't. Were you aware of this before you got married? How long have you been married? Because that makes a difference. Sometimes we don't always understand things, and so we find ourselves in relationships that we're not even compatible with the other person because we just didn't know. It may be where you were when you met him, it was a place where you're okay with that. But as you grow older, you change, you mature. Now you may not be okay with that. I think that's based off of your personal wants and needs. I don't think it has anything to do with me. Because you got to understand, there are some women out here that want a more emotional man, and they want to be the dominant one. They want to be logical. Kinks are not just in the bedroom. Kinks are socially too. Some women like dominating men. Just, it is what it is. They hate the idea that they have to hold space for our vulnerability, which our strength and balance. Right. That's how we balance ourselves. No, I don't think it's American men thing. No, I don't. Because the way that these men are marrying underage girls in these other countries, no. The reason why they marry these underage girls is because these underage girls don't even know who they are yet. They're not in tune with themselves in that way. So they're more easygoing, naive, and reasonable, overly reasonable, to the point to where they don't even have boundaries. So a man can easily just dominate them and walk all over them, and that's what they want. Yeah, emotional is not the opposite of logical. Because sometimes your emotions can make you logical when you have emotional intelligence. But if he's overly emotional with the lack of intelligence, it can make him just a mess. Yeah, men want, listen, I think men want slaves. I'm convinced. They want you to be like, come here. All right. You can go now. Like, that's how they want to talk to us. And they want to deal with us when they want to deal with us. And then when they don't want to deal with us, then they be like, they'll ghost. Now they just ghost. They don't even know how to have a conversation with you about this ain't even working. Because if a man set me down and be like, this ain't working, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, we could go our separate ways. Like, what I'm going to be like, oh, no, don't leave me. Like, get out of here with that. All right, this ain't working. We can go our separate ways. And don't put me in a lineup and I find out about it. If you put me in a lineup and I find out about it, I'm going to just cut you off. And I'll be like, I just made your decision so much more easier. You can choose them. Or one of them, whichever, but it won't be me. I won't be included in who you choose. I just made it easier. I just took myself off the roster. The royal penis is clean. Yeah, that's what they want, y'all. And but still want us to go outside the house and work. Still want us to bring home that check, honey. They need that check. They want to be our pimps, honestly. They don't want to be kings, because kings take care of their women. Kings take care of their children. Not their bastards, though. Not they bastards. But they do take care of their women and the children that they have with women, I guess, that they respect or whatever. I don't know how that goes, but you get what I'm saying. So they want to be our pimps, y'all. Especially today. They want to be our pimps. When they have a lineup, but I guess you can tell. I can always tell when a man has a lineup. He disappears. You can always tell when a man has a lineup, he disappears. He's entertaining somebody else. Don't even think about it. Don't think about it. Don't question it. A man that disappears has a lineup. He's being a player. Point blank, period. That ghosting, players do the most. And it's because they're entertaining somebody else. So when you get ghosted, just know he's dealing with somebody else. And it's not because he feels like this other girl is better. That's how a lot of y'all get in y'all's emotions and you get in your ego and like, oh, he dealing with somebody else. Like, why would he do that? Da, da, da. It's not because he don't want you. It's not because he don't want you or he don't like you. It's because things are getting too serious over here. Like, it could be like, dang, he's like really catching feelings. It's getting too close. Like, it's getting too close to him actually feeling something. So he'll run off and go deal with somebody new. Somebody he really don't even like that. And somebody he may not even be all that attracted to. He may be more attracted to you. You never know. But he'll go deal with this other girl over here because it's like, okay, I can start up this thing with her. No feelings aren't involved over here. And then just leave you and ghost you. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even think it's narcissistic supplies. Like, it's definitely a narcissistic tendency. But sometimes it's not always that extreme. It's like some men just don't want to deal with their emotions. They don't want to feel nothing. And if things over here get too intense, they get too they start to feel things, right? They'll run off and go deal with somebody new or somebody old where they know no feelings are involved. And it could be because this girl is just, she may be maybe like lower vibrational. Like, maybe he really likes you because you're intellectual. You guys have good conversation. It's not all sex. But with this girl over here, it's all sex. And he knows that. She knows that. And so he'll run back to his old thing because he knows it's just sex. And he can get away with not being vulnerable, not expressing how he feels and all of that. That's why I'm like, don't take it personal. I would never take it personal. Listen, I'm in the field doing field work. I'm getting my Sarah Jessica on from Sex and the City. You know what's crazy though? I'm not gonna be Sarah Jessica because when Big died, I was mad as hell. I said, no, he didn't just die on her like that so early, so soon. They only been married, what, a few years? And you die on her. You had her waste her life. You had her waste her life, and then you had the audacity to die on her like that? And see, men don't think they gonna die one day. I was like, what? Big was what, 50, what, 55? He wasn't even 60 years old. That's why I was like, how you gonna die on her like that? You gonna waste her 30s. You gonna waste like her late 20s, her 30s, and then you die on her like that? That's crazy to me. So no, that's why I like to the women out here, listen, it ain't even always your biological clock. Because Carrie didn't want women. I mean, she didn't want kids. She never wanted kids like that. She never wanted kids. But she wanted companionship. And you telling me he wasted her whole 30s, y'all, and then part of her 40s, and then had the audacity to die on her like that? And then had the audacity to leave his ex-wife money? Oh, I was hot, y'all. I was hot. He was in his 50s. He wasn't that old. That's why I was like, that man died on her like that. He wasn't even that old. The audacity of men. I mean, they piss you off even in their dads. I was like, how you die on her like, and now Carrie back single again. I said, oh no, see, that ain't gonna be me. And this is why I say, if a man ain't got it together, move the hell on. Do not allow him to drag you through the mud. And Carrie is like, that's my soulmate. I'll slap the hell out of you. That's not your soulmate, sis. That's a karmic. You need to move on. That's what I learned from that, what's it called? And Just Like That. That's what I learned. I was like, oh, hell no. I will never waste my life like that over some man. And then he got the audacity to die in his 50s. I think they was only together for what? maybe 10 years solid, and then he died because he was trying to exercise. He died from natural causes. It wasn't that he got hit, he was in a car accident. Natural causes? No, Carrie she has issues. Surprisingly, I'm like, why has she never like committed to therapy for an extended period of time? No, this happens every day. Somebody said you just compared a fictional show fairy tale to real life. No, that happens every day. There are women in marriages. No, they're not women in marriages. There are women that are shacking up with men that have been with men for 15 something years, waiting on this man to do right by them, and then they end up dying on him. They can't even get they have no way of being able to bury this man. They couldn't even go see the body in his death. They had to call the next of kin to do that. Luckily for Carrie, she did have the benefit of a wife, but it's like, I just don't feel like it was worth the investment. Like all that investing she did in her 30s when it came to big, her investment just died at 50. That's how I see it. That's me looking at it from a logical standpoint and not emotional. If I was looking at it from an emotional standpoint, I'd be like, oh my God, why he died? Like, dang, like he... No, from a logical standpoint, I'm like, dang, she invested majority of her dating life to this man, and he want to die on her at 55? Be careful who you invest in. Be careful who you invest in. Right, the ex-wife got way more benefits. I noticed that too. Be careful out here marrying a man that had a previous wife. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Oh yes. Oh my God. I wanted to talk about this avoidant style of detachment. I keep bumping into this man, and he wears so many different faces. Avoidant style detachment. If I bump into another man, I'm like, God, listen, spirit, whoever, listen, I got it. Okay, I don't need this lesson again. We got the lesson. Okay, this avoidant style detachment, I got it. Okay, and I know why it keeps happening to me in my life. Hopefully you guys are able to identify why it keeps happening to you in your life. If you keep bumping into a man that has this avoidant style of detachment where he just ghosts you and everything is going great, this is what happened in my childhood. I don't know what happened from the time I was a little girl, probably I would say my 16th birthday. Me and my dad were two peas in a pod. We did everything together. People always ask me, how is she so street smart? She grew up in the suburbs. I would just ride in a car with my dad, and we would just have conversations. He would take me to the barbershop. He would take me to his old neighborhood. Like, we always would hang out. And to a sense, like, my mom would be jealous. She'd be like, when you came along, you kind of just took my place. Like, that's how she felt. Me and her had that conversation too. And so when I turned 16, that's when things like there was like this switch. And I went through an avoided style of detachment from my own father. And so our relationship has never been the same. And so I noticed that within my dating life, I have a similar experience with men. It's like things become too intense or real, where it involves emotions and things like that. I think my dad detached from me at 16 because he didn't see me as a little girl anymore. And I think he had a hard time dealing with that. And so maybe he felt like he couldn't relate to me anymore. You know, you have your period, all of the, you know, you start getting your boobs and things like that. And I think he didn't know how to handle that. So yeah, like that's my experience. And hopefully by me sharing that helps somebody else. But I had to unpack that in therapy as well. Like he did some type of avoidance style of detachment. And then after he did it, I went into this people pleasing. I had people pleasing issues so bad because I just didn't understand. Like, I'm like, why is he acting like this towards me now? Like he didn't used to do this. And I want to say the same thing with men. The same thing happens to me with men. They will detach themselves. They'll do this avoided style of detachment. And I'm like, dang, like how can a person be so sweet and so nice and so caring, go so cold on you? Like cold as ice. And that's exactly what happened in my childhood. So now I bump into men who do the same thing. But the way you can correct this, when I was a child, I went into this people-pleasing mode. Now I just detach myself from them. And then they get mad. And then they chase after you because they're like, dang, she not checking for me. I know what it feels like. This is why you have to be aware. This is why you have to do the work. So you can understand why this happens to you. Because it's not just happening to you for no reason. Like, there's a reason behind why it's happening to you. And so I don't chase after them. Some women do, and I don't advise that you do that. I just move on. I move on. I let that person go and I move on. And I work on myself. Like, I practice self-love. I practice through fasting, healthy eating, exercising, doing nice things for myself, and like really pouring that love back into me, because that detachment style is so triggering. Like, it triggers my childhood trauma. It triggers my daddy issues. It triggers how I deal with relationships, because it feels like a betrayal. And I have to like really parent myself and nurture myself to not go cold on the people that I actually love, that are there for me, right? And the energy is reciprocated, and it triggers my abandonment issues. It triggers all of these things. And so it's like with therapy, I'm able to recognize, because before I had no awareness at all, you guys, like absolutely no awareness. And so now when it happens, I know what's going on. I don't freak out. I actually like kind of just start healing from the situation like that. And I don't like these men that do it. Like, I don't look at them the same. Like, just like I don't look at my father the same, I don't look at them the same. Because it feels like somebody just left you hanging, like they just left you standing there. It kind of feels like, and this is why I say like abandonment issues you can suffer from abandonment issues, and your dad can be in your life. You could wake up in the home every day as a child and he was there, but still suffer from abandonment issues. It's my therapist explained this to me. It's just like a child waiting for their dad to show up to pick them up to spend quality time with them, and they never show up. And sometimes it's harder for us as kids who have the father around, because it's like, dang, like every day I'm reminded how this parent is not there for me. Like, it sucks. It freaking sucks. What is a healthy relationship? I'm still trying to figure that out. You know what? I'm more focused on developing a healthy relationship with myself. Because I feel like if I develop a healthy relationship with myself, right, I think I will know what a healthy relationship is. And I know that sounds crazy, but like, for real, like if you have a healthy relationship with yourself, like with your mentality, with your routine, how you care for yourself and everything like that, I think you'll know what a healthy relationship is. I don't think you have to have a healthy relationship with a man in order to know what healthy is, or with a friend or with a parent. I think it's like you having a healthy relationship with yourself. That's how I see it. So, but I know, and when you have a healthy relationship with yourself, and I'm learning this about myself right now because I'm in a healthier space, a peaceful space, I know when I'm dealing with toxicity. I know when I'm dealing with a broken person. I know when I'm dealing with someone that is not even aware of their actions and how it impacts you or me in a negative way. So it's so easy to spot because I have a healthy relationship with myself. I know when I need to take a step back from someone. I know when I need to focus on me. I know when I need to heal. I know when I need to fast so I can ground myself. I know when I need to go out into nature to ground myself. Like, I'm so much more aware. So it's like when I latch onto someone emotionally that is not healthy, I can spot it pretty fast. It's definitely spiritual. It is. And this is why I advise that you guys go on a healing journey, a spiritual journey, so you can become one with yourself, so you can become centered, so you can become aligned, so you can become aware, so you're no longer broken. That's what this is about. On that note, you guys, I'm gonna end this live because Instagram is cutting me off, and I want to save this live. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.